awesome and free on iTunes. You can also follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/UCR Network. Sorry, we can't change that, but we did change our Twitter. That's at Ringside Rumble. So tune into that as well and follow the conversation, man. Talk with us. We want to hear from you. Anthony the Ant-Man saying we'll be back in just a moment.
WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio, take one.
Behold the angry giant.
Try it again, Alberto.
Behold the angry giant.
Perfect. Good luck tonight.
Behold the angry giant.
Yay! Read me another one, Dad.
This is WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio. The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
There's hundreds of fun and simple things you and your family can do to live a healthier lifestyle. Here's 20 of them. Walk to work, walk the dog, have the dog walk you, take a hike, take a bike, skate, dance, hop, jump, do the Humpty Hump, skip seconds, skip dessert, skip to my loo, don't skip breakfast, drink H2O, lower your sodium, raise the roof, shake your booty, stock up on vegetables, and don't forget to eat them. Search We Can online to find more ways you and your family can get healthy together. A message from the Ad Council, HHS, and NIH's We Can program.
Oh, yes, we are back. We're a little calmed down. You're listening to Ringside Rumble Radio here on Spreaker.com and on iTunes for free.
That's a good deal right there.
For free, it's for me. Remember to like us on Twitter. Actually, follow us on Twitter.
You got it right, my friend.
What's our new handle?
At Ringside Rumble.
Okay, yeah, we changed it, so we're now...
The only thing we couldn't change was Facebook, so it's still facebook.com/UCR Network.
Yeah, but you know how Facebook, they don't like to change things for some reason. But it's all right.
We're still there.
We're
you
still
can
there.
Follow us.
You can follow us. You can...
talk conversation.
We got the SpeakPipe app. You can send us a little voicemail.
A lot of likes on our China post from last week.
Yeah, we got a huge new following. We got about, 18 or 19 new likes and followers on the page, so that's great. Thank you. And make sure to keep tuning in.
Tell your friends, tell your family.
Tell everybody. Anybody who's a wrestling fan, tune in. And like I said, tweet at us, Facebook message us, tell us what you want to hear on the air. We'll read your comments. We'll rant and raid, whatever the heck you want to say.
Like Funaki says,
indeed. But we were teasing before the NXT. Basically, the internet blew up the other night, and a former TNA wrestler reportedly has signed with NXT. He was backstage at the NXT tapings. He also had his first interview at the NXT tapings. I'm talking about the one, the only, the Eric Young. He was with TNA from when they basically started
from the beginning,
from the ground up. He was, in the beginning, he kind of was this low card.
I still remember him in Team Canada. When
Yes,
they had that Team Canada with Bobby Roode.
Yep. I remember that as well. He was in that. He also, then he kind of was down a little bit. He was a kind of a crazy character guy. And then he won the TNA Heavyweight Championship. And I was like, wow, this guy, he's got it all. He won the TNA Heavyweight Championship. He was going up against Dixie Carter. He was main eventing.
He sort of reminds me of a lesser version of Y2J. Y2J is able to change his character throughout his career, and that's something Eric Young's been able to do. He's been able to change the way his character acts, the way you feel about his character, and I think he's a really good talent. Kudos to NXT for picking him up. We had been speculating it for a while now that he would go. We saw Bobby Roode at NXT TakeOver Dallas.
Yep.
He was just sitting in the stands. We don't know if he's signed, but is Eric Young actually signed with a contract?
Well, he cut a promo.
He
with
did cut a
NXT,
promo.
So I would assume.
But then we also
yes.
did see the other half of Beer Money as well, James Storm. We saw him wrestle on NXT, but that never came to fruition.
Well, he received apparently he received a better offer from TNA, which I still don't know how, because they are in so much debt and money issues. But it was interesting to see, because the other night we followed Dixie Carter and TNA on Twitter, and they were saying, like, tune in, your champion Eric Young is taking on, I think it was Gunner, I want to say. I don't remember exactly. And then Beer Money was putting their tag team titles on the line. I'm like, wait a minute. Bobby Roode's not even in TNA anymore. This is how old their tape. They taped so much back that you have these guys that are not even in the organization anymore.
See, it's hard to follow TNA when you know where the superstars are going. It's different when you're watching a New Japan, which is taped within a year in advance and then put on Access.
Yeah.
You don't get to see those wrestlers.
Nope.
So when you see them, it's a great thing. But speaking about not having money, the reason they're speculating the reason why Bobby Roode and Eric Young left were because they weren't being paid what they've been asked.
Apparently, there was an interview done on another the Pro Wrestling Report. Apparently, Dave Harrow of Great Lakes Championship Wrestling revealed that he knew the reason why Bobby Roode and Eric Young left TNA. He said, in quote, Bobby Roode and Eric Young left because they were owed a combined 6 figures. How do you not pay these two guys? You let Bobby Roode go, a guy who could have gone to the WWE, but he wanted to be loyal to the company. Thank God he left. He'll be a big star in NXT. He'll make the main roster in a year from now. Same with Eric Young, end quote. So,
I mean, I totally agree. Those are two great talents, maybe the two best that they had on TNA at the time. And how weird does it have to feel for James Storm, who had his chance, had his opportunity to stay at NXT. He goes back to TNA to team up with Bobby Roode.
Yep.
Bobby Roode only stays for a few months. They had the Beer Money, which is one of their most popular tag teams, and now it's all over.
It's all over, and now he's stuck there in basically a sinking ship right now. And it's a shame, because TNA actually, for a while, they had a good concept. They had decent talent. I mean, they even were trying to go up with WWE for that 1 month when they put it live on Monday night. I remember that, which kind of failed miserably. But it's a shame. I feel at the point you have Dixie Carter, who thinks she knows everything about wrestling, but realistically, she doesn't know squat about the business.
And notice how everything started going downhill once Jeff Jarrett left.
Yeah, and once she took over, the ship kind of just sank.
I mean, they weren't in a great position while Jeff Jarrett was there, but they weren't this bad.
No, and I mean, they had decent pay-per-views. They were trying to get out of the Impact Zone. Now I read that if you look online on the website, they don't even have house shows listed for touring because nobody wants to buy tickets. How can you sell a product when your two main events are these guys who are has-beens in the WWE are your main eventers right now? You're going with Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy over trying to compete with WWE, Ring of Honor, New Japan Wrestling.
I wouldn't go as far to call them has-beens, but they were mid-carders, barely main eventers on WWE. I mean, the WWE gave Jeff Hardy the chance to run with the ball and the chance to be heavyweight champion, and he screwed it up. The same with a guy like Rob Van Dam. They gave them the chance to be the champion because that's what the fans were clamoring for, and they screwed it up.
But here's the thing. You're telling me you rather tune in to TNA and watch brother versus brother, Matt Hardy versus Jeff Hardy, which has already been done in the WWE, over watching possibly an NXT hour-long show with Samoa Joe, with Eric Roode, with Bobby Roode, Eric Young.
Oh, that's a hybrid.
With Finn Balor, or watching WWE Monday Night Raw with AJ Styles, Kevin Owens taking on Sami Zayn. No,
I like NXT for two reasons. One, is because
It's an hour long?
it's an hour long. And 2, they get right to the matches. Get a few promos, then right to the matches. No wasting time.
Yeah.
We don't get a 30-minute promo.
It's actually wrestling.
We don't get 3 hours. We don't get a 7-hour pay-per-view event that ended at almost midnight. You just get wrestling.
But it's just so frustrating with TNA because they had all this potential, and you're blowing it. I mean, they're downsizing to the warehouse where TNA has all their products, and
their problem was that they tried to compete with WWE. They weren't at that level yet.
No.
They didn't have the backing that the WCW had when they had Ted Turner and all his money. They didn't have that.
all they had was Panda Energy.
Well, yeah, and they had a small market promotion and owner, which is you can compete with Ring of Honor, you can compete with Evolve, but you can't compete with the WWE. Look at New Japan Pro Wrestling. That's huge. They don't even try to compete with WWE.
They don't have to. They're their own market. They're their own identity. And for so long, TNA was trying to copy and make fun and try and bring down WWE. They went out and they signed Hogan and Bischoff. They got Flair. They got...
But getting those guys, you're not getting them in their prime.
No.
Or even maybe a little bit past their prime, as in WCW. WCW was able to bring those characters back to life again. The difference between WWE and WCW was they were very territorial. So WCW had a lot of the South, which was not really getting into seeing all those wrestlers up north. So when they came down, when Hogan's and the Savages and the Bret Harts of the world came down from WWE, it was kind of like building into a new audience. And I think that TNA it's too late. You had the talent. You could have promoted the AJ Styles, the Samoa Joes, the Christopher Daniels. I mean, what about Bad Influence? That was a great tag team.
Kazarian, yeah.
Kazarian and Christopher Daniels. They let them go.
Austin Aries,
the Motor City Machine Guns.
Didn't they even have the Young Bucks for a little bit?
The Young Bucks, but they called them Generation Me.
But still, they had them.
Yeah.
And all these guys are big names on the internet, which is funny because they had all these guys and they just were like, yep, you got to go. Because you know what? We're going to bring in this has-been Mr. Kennedy because he was in WWE and he can talk on the mic. They brought in MVP who did absolutely nothing for them. He got injured and he was sidelined and did nothing.
They gave AJ Styles the title, and they didn't even push it. They let him go a few months later.
And then he soared in New Japan.
He reinvented himself there, joining the Bullet Club.
It's just a shame because they had all these wrestlers, and they just let them go for, like I said, has-been talent. I know you don't agree with me on Matt and Jeff Hardy, but there has been talent from WWE. They're nobodies right now to me. If I was to go to an event, would I take Hardys now versus each other over Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn? No way. No way in a million years. Maybe it was Hardys 1999, 2001, but that's not the case anymore. Like you said before, they're getting these guys that are over their prime, can't even move in the ring. Remember, they signed Kevin Nash, for God's sake, who couldn't even move in the ring.
Yep. Oh,
Black
boy.
Machismo. Another one.
Black Machismo, who is now probably one of the longest reigning Ring of Honor champions and probably put on one of the best matches I've ever seen with Roderick Strong live at a Ring of Honor taping.
Well, speaking of Ring of Honor, they're saying now there's talks about how they want to buy TNA. The Sinclair Group is interested. Apparently, they are owners of a